Welcome and good evening to Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms. Raph here, speaking to you live high about the Keeping the Hot Air Balloon. Tonight we have very special guests, Rissen and Bolon, and I kind of screwed up the intro a little bit, so I'm recording this after the fact. And of course we have Neindorf joining me as well. I just wanted to do more of a formal intro here for the audio that we have on Anchor. So please enjoy the podcast. Raph out.
You know, it's a cause to help children, and I don't know what's better than that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
I think
Neindorf, you were shouting out in Discord the other day, and we got a little bit of a hype train going where everyone was sharing their donation photos. It got pretty exciting. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it did. You know, it's kind of one of those things. I actually hadn't read about that donation, and I was over in Christabel claiming my airdrops, and I was like, wait a minute, who's this guy? I was like, oh, UNICEF. I was like, oh, that's fantastic. You know, you just got to post something. So we just, we set it out, and we had a bunch of people on our Discord that said, yeah, and then here's put some crystal or some US dollar coins or something in. So it was really cool just to see that. I think you guys chose well. I think that's awesome. You said helping kids is really important. You know, each of us have a bunch of Gen 1s floating around here. So it's a really great cause, and we appreciate you guys doing those charity events, and honestly look forward to see what you guys will come up with for the next one.
Same, yeah. Sunbear does a really good job of looking into charities and looking for ones that do good and that make a difference.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, let's round out our intros. And if you guys hear this annoying knocking noise in the background, that's my sump pump going, because in the Midwest, springtime, lots of rain, April showers, as they say. So let's go to Rissen first. Maybe give us, we know you're in DFK already. You got a special hobby or a current video game that you're playing outside of DFK right now?
So unfortunately, I am a avid player of League of Legends, so I'm a degenerate. I would play other video games, but at least when I play League, it's okay to be bad because everyone else is. Realistically, that's what a lot of the team kind of is broken into. A lot of people play Final Fantasy, a lot of them play League, so it's easy, hop in there, play a couple games, hop back out. With the amount of hours and stuff that we do, it's kind of hard to commit to anything else. Besides that, I cook is mainly what I do. Mess around with everything from making my own hot sauces to smoking my own jerky to cooking everything that I could possibly get my hands on.
Nice. That sounds
awesome.
Delicious.
No Elden Ring, huh?
No Elden Ring. I'm not talented enough or have enough patience to play a game like that.
Take a real life journal.
Well, let's go to you next, Neindorf. What are you playing outside of DFK at the moment?
Honestly, for me, it's a lot more boring. I like to find if I got a few minutes, like not wrangling the Gen 1s, like I said. It's honestly, I'm really enjoying Mario Kart Tour on my phone. It is, I just love drifting around corners for a few minutes here and there. It's, and trying to get all those high-end carts. I don't know, something about that is just fun right now.
Oh yeah, it takes me back. I loved Mario Kart 64. That I spent way too many hours there, and on Double Dash as well. I actually had a good friend growing up in high school. Well, you know him too. I won't say his real name. But he was able to dodge blue shells. He's the only person I've ever been able to see do it. But, he would, power slide. And if you power slided fast enough, you could actually dodge a blue shell at times. It's still really hard to do. But it was absolutely
awesome.
Incredible.
I remember that. Yeah, that's back a few years.
Yeah. All right, Bolon, what are you doing outside of DFK?
I also hate myself enough to play a lot of League of Legends. And that's about it, because aside from that, these days my hobby is general chat.
Oh, sure.
It's DFK is so embedded in our life at this point. Like, we've been friends for years. There's not a single conversation that we can have that isn't surrounded by DFK.
That is accurate.
We go out with friends. It's DFK. I met with my father-in-law the other day. It was about DFK. We
Nice.
play League. We
About
DFK. But yeah, no, I do play League. I'm now realizing how long it's been since I've played Super Mario Kart Tour on my phone, and I'm already re-downloading it.
Nice.
Because that game was excellent.
So,
Nice.
so if it's a lot about DFK, I mean, are you enjoying that? I mean, is that where you want to be? Do you like this?
Oh yeah.
You mean our dream job?
Yeah.
I just had to ask, right?
Yeah, there's nobody that's on our team that's like, oh man, another day of work. I mean, we probably should set better boundaries for ourselves, but I remember Christmas Eve, I was on the computer at 11 o'clock working.
Yep.
There's definitely, it's a dream come true in a lot of ways. At the end of the day, we're surrounded by like-minded people who enjoy the same things. We get to, work on a video game that brings back all the nostalgia of our past. We get to talk on a daily basis with probably some of the most badass community members that anybody could ask for. And we get paid to do it. It's absolutely insane.
That's awesome. Yeah, I would say we spend, well, maybe not as much time as you guys, but a lot of our waking hours, talking about DFK, whether it's on the Discord channel or just in our regular text chat. And as we were explaining to you guys just before we started the show, Neindorf and I have known each other for quite a few years, and our better halves were together the other weekend, and I remember my wife coming back and saying, we're pretty sure that they referring to the two of us talk to each other more often than we talk to our better halves. Then we're texting the first thing we wake up in the morning, and we're texting at night. And
Oh, did you see that market
totally
movement?
I will say that this is serendipitous that we pretty much have the same exact situation. I'm at the point where I just walked into Bolon's house, and Bolon's wife was not surprised. I didn't come home, and my wife texted me asking, "Are you at Bolon's house?"
Yeah, all right. So hobbies, well, as most of our listeners know out there, I have 4 Gen 1s at home, so that keeps me pretty busy. My last hobby was scuba diving, and I have not done that since my first Gen 1, so it's been a few years. Video games, right now actually I'm helping my oldest start to learn how to play video games, so I've been playing some Mario Bowser's Fury with him, but probably the last game I played for myself on the Switch was Hades. It's a roguelite game. It was a lot of fun. Highly recommend it to anyone who's looking to kill some time. I used to play League of Legends, but it was, like the 40 to 50 minute game commitment. It was a lot for me. And I wasn't that good at clicking either. So
If you play worse, the games are a lot shorter.
Normally it's the toxic community that people complain about.
So, well, that's the alpha strategy that I never tapped into. All right, Neindorf, kick us off with the question of the day.
Yeah, sure. So I couldn't help, having you guys on the show. I just saw the post in the contest channel there about the name for the tavern in Crystal Vale. So I don't know, we don't necessarily, if you guys don't want to influence, the outcome, that's cool, but I would really love to know what your personal favorites are and maybe why, or maybe a little backstory you could invent for it.
Yeah, and so this just got posted, so maybe Bolon or Rissen, walk us through what are the 3 names that the community's voting on right now.
Yeah, so basically, so Jack Sickles, Bone Pillar, and Sinstar are our lore department. And so they, come up with all the names and the backstories. And I mean, right now, like, we are about to have so much more lore in DFK than what we have right now, which is really exciting because I really like lore and I think it's fun. And so Jack Sickles actually brought something to the team the other day and said, hey, we have these 3 names for the tavern in Crystal Vale, and I really like all 3, and I'm really, conflicted. So y'all feel free to weigh in also, but I think I want to do a community vote. And so, of course, I was like, yeah, let's do a community vote. That's a great idea. I love it. And so the 3 names that we're kind of voting between are Blackstone Skull, Bitterfang Hall, and Dragonbone Hearth. And I have no shame and no issue influencing things. My personal favorite is Dragonbone Hearth. First off, I love Crystal Vale in like the scenery and the winter theme, the Norse theme. In case nobody could tell from my PFP, very, very big fan of Norse mythology and Vikings. So I really like Crystal Vale just in general. And I feel like Dragonbone Hearth just screams like Viking mead hall. And that's what I'm here for. So that one is my personal favorite, and that's kind of why, I guess. Rissen?
I mean, just like you described it as like a mead hall, to me, Bitterfang Hall actually hits the mark. Dragonbone Hearth, I wouldn't immediately think that that's a tavern, and I think it's like semi-questionably erotic. I mean, Dragonbone.
Do you know what a hearth is, though?
Yes.
Okay.
But that being said, Bitterfang Hall would be my pick. I think Blackstone Skull is too
dark.
It seems like a dungeon.
Yeah.
But I think it might be a little too late for both Bitterfang Hall and Blackstone Skull.
Yeah, Dragonbone Hearth it's a landslide.
Yeah.
There's still 47 hours, but
all right, well, I'm gonna cast my vote on Bitterfang Hall. That one, I don't know, Bitterfang Hall. I imagine they serve the kind of drinks that keep me coming back. How about you, Neindorf?
Yeah, so Dragonbone Hearth is too close to like for me Skyrim. It feels too Skyrim-esque. So I was like, I can't do that one. And I'm with you with Blackstone Skull. So it feels like a pirate ship. So I also cast my vote for Bitterfang Hall. I was trying to see, if the thing surrounding the tree in Crystal Vale, if it had teeth showing, and I was like, oh, unfortunately it doesn't, because that would be absolutely perfect then.
Yeah, and I would say I love to echo what you're saying, Bolon. I absolutely love the lore that they have going on in Crystal Vale right now. It is absolutely incredible, and it's funny how the different sceneries they're really tapping into like different genres in the back of our brains. So I don't know, whatever you guys are doing, I swear there's a psychologist on staff that just knows how to access the deep regions of all the gamers' brains out there, and this is what's led to the success.
It's absolutely crazy the amount of effort that like our lore and our art department puts into these things. And it's a bunch of gamers that are, given the free reign to be able to give every gamer what they want. And when we were just in Spain in Barcelona for the Avalanche event, and we had a couple of our artists that were there, and we went sightseeing. These guys were like doing drawings as they were seeing architecture, taking pictures of things.
That is awesome.
They take influence from everything. And of course, you can see a rich history of every RPG that you've ever played influence different portions of our game.
Yeah, for sure. It's awesome. I love my favorite spot is the jeweler in Crystal Vale. It's my new favorite spot, I should say. It feels like I'm in The Hobbit. Like it just, I don't know, it takes me back to Lord of the Rings, some Tolkien lore right there. All right, well, let's go slide over into our dev dive. section of the night. Neindorf, we have a couple new goals that we're working on lining up as a team. Walk our listeners through what we're hoping to achieve on YouTube subscribers.
Yeah, sure. So, we've had those previous milestones. We've met those. It's kind of been a while since we released some new ones. So, we thought it was about time, especially with all the talk of pets and everything. We thought, you know what, we'll put a goal out there. If we get to 500 subscribers, we'll do a giveaway of a couple of eggs. I think that's a good way to kind of kick off. Hopefully, we can get there by the time some of these hatch. That'd be absolutely perfect. And then I'll let you hit the next one because this one might be a little more in your wheelhouse.
Yeah. Then we're going for the 1K subscriber mark. I've been sitting on a pure common wizard for a while, with 10 of 10 summons still, and he is a gardener. And I'm just starting to level him up now. Level 3, just hit that last night. And I thought, what the heck, why not? Let's give this guy away as an incentive and a reward for our community out there who really are giving back in the form of participating on Discord. It's been so much fun over there chatting about the game and our speculation, and I feel smarter every time I log onto our Discord. So thank you for all those listeners and watchers out there. So our goal again is if we can get 500 folks, we're going to do a giveaway for a couple of eggs, and 1,000 folks, we're going to give away the pure common 10 of 10 wizard that I have. So hopefully that can pay it forward to someone's summoning goals out there. And what we're looking for is any suggestions beyond that. Sky's the limit. We're a bit of a small operation, but let us know what you think, and post comments in YouTube or over in Discord, whatever you guys think out there.
Yeah, make sure we want to keep providing more content on the site for you guys. Like I said, let us know what we're missing, what you'd like to see next. There's always room for some improvement, more features. We're trying to prep for combat and all this stuff, but at the same time, any quality of life or button clicks that you don't like to have to do, let us know. We'll try to see if we can't get them rolled in.
Yeah. All right, so let's slide over into the AMA today. A lot of conversation about pets. Both at the Avalanche conference in Spain that you guys were talking about, and in some of the AMA notes. Maybe Rissen, give us your hype level for pets right now.
I'm very hyped because personally, I want to see people both be very excited and disappointed at the different pets. I feel like there's going to be a whole new level of memery in our Discord for people's different pets, and just excited for like the offshoots and the obsessions that kind of happen every time we introduce anything new into the game. And I'm just kind of looking forward to the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Nice. Yeah.
So maybe my alternate question of the day, maybe I want to ask, what do you think, Raph?
Yeah, go for it.
So since we're on pets and we're excited about this, obviously, do you guys have a favorite hero? And does that favorite hero have a pet that would absolutely perfectly complement them?
Ooh. I'll be honest, I don't have a favorite hero. My heroes are just workers. Like
you don't try to have an emotional attachment to your heroes.
No, I'm emotionally attached to whichever one brings me the best loot in each quest. That one becomes my favorite until the next quest cycle, when they inevitably disappoint me and a new one becomes my favorite.
Nice.
All
Go ahead.
my favorite heroes died on the perilous journey.
Sad day. What about you, Neindorf?
I'm trying to think too. So I got a summoner I'm particularly fond of, but I don't really know what sort of pet would go with a summoner. In my opinion, or in my mind here, I'm thinking summoner. I'm thinking he's sprouting out little skeletons from the ground to go attack the bad guy, right, or something like that. So I don't really know. I've contemplated it a little bit, but um, I thought some cool pet ideas would be like like a poison arrow frog or something like that. That does some sort of maybe to complement like a Dark Knight and add some poison or something. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, my favorite hero. I like where you're going with that. My favorite hero right now. If anyone's had a chance to watch our YouTube channel, I shared a video of my last level up. Went to level 6 with my mythic thief, and got into some rarefied territory of having 30 luck on my thief. So he's definitely my favorite by far. Kind of similar to what Bolon's saying, like whoever performs best in the level ups for me. I'm just not quite as invested in the quest at this point. And so whatever pet is going to pair with that, I don't know if it's going to be the bat. I could see some kind of vampire fang action going on with the pet. I think thieves are going to be able to attack first and apply, steal an item or unequipped a weapon off another hero, do some really sneaky, annoying things, and that's always been like my go-to character in games in the past. Is whatever I can do to annoy the other people that I'm playing and set them into a tilt rage. That's when I can then strike and make my move. So yeah,
That's awesome.
You still play League of Legends?
yeah. Yeah,
Everybody knows the most powerful pet is definitely going to be a goose.
Oh,
For sure.
nice.
You pair the goose with your thief, and then the goose just has a knife in its mouth.
I'm thinking the Aflac duck here.
Actually, so throwing it back to my question from earlier, have you guys played the Untitled Goose Game? I'm going off way on a tangent now. Have you guys heard of that or even played it?
Yes, I have.
I have not, and now I'm sad.
Oh,
It is oddly addicting.
it's sheer joy. It's like
It's just chaos. You are trying.
Where? Is this a mobile game? Do I need to buy a Switch? Like, what's the deal here?
I played it on Game Pass on Xbox, I believe.
I can make that happen.
yeah, I played on Switch, and one of my Gen 1s, my oldest, who's 7 now. So you pilot a goose, and it can be like 2 players, and you just go around this town doing naughty things. And I've never seen him cackle so maniacally as I do when he like takes a guy who's reading a newspaper, his slipper, and throws it into a pond. Like, it is absolutely incredible. So much fun. Highly recommend it. Rissen, what's your favorite part?
So at one point, like I just love the vagueness of some of the like little quest lines of
Yeah.
just like interrupt or like make it hard for this person to read the newspaper.
Yeah.
And you just have to wait, and then you're trying to basically honk at times that make that person so angry that they give up trying to read the newspaper. It's every bit of chaos that I want to see in a video game, and it's so simple, and it's just very fun to play in 2-player.
Yeah, you guys are the Chaos Cast too, so this is your kind of jam, right?
Yeah, I'm actually disappointed in myself that I haven't brought this up to Bolon.
I'm disappointed in you too.
He's judging me pretty hard.
No, that's what we're gonna do next. Is we're gonna stream just playing Untitled Goose Game.
I mean, I would watch.
All right, well, let's get back on track here. Yeah, pets, super bullish on that. Maybe there will be a bull. Speaking of which, it seems like it. We're kind of reading the tea leaves here. I think Frisky came out and said, and I get it. There's been a lot of feedback from the community on what's the schedule, what's the timeline, when, and we're gonna release things when they're available, and we're putting a lot of irons in the fire. So it sounds like pets are coming, duels are coming. It seems like, buildings are maybe closer than we imagine. obviously Tavern for Crystal Vale and catching Crystal Vale up to some of the Serendale items. But it does feel like pets are, really the next thing to happen. One thing that I thought was interesting, and I was a little bit regretting, is that Hubert said that you're going to use some resources to hatch the pets. And as everyone in our Discord channel knows, I mortgaged a farm in terms of took everything that I had been accumulating and finally broke down and got a gold egg last night. So I'm excited about that. How are you guys doing from an egg standpoint? Maybe Rissen, you go first. How you doing?
All right, so I'm really bad at holding on to my assets. Like you were mentioning the hero, and I said that I lost my favorite heroes in Perilous Journey. I actually sent all of my heroes on Perilous Journey,
Oh.
and I then gave away everyone that survived.
Oh.
Same thing has happened. I've had 3 eggs in total, and I've given all 3 of them away.
Oh, nice. Give it back.
So
That's good.
I just have a bad habit of just getting into Discord one night and feeling chaotic and rewarding people that feed my humor.
Yeah.
So, like just last week, I ended up giving away everything that was in my inventory to somebody.
All right. Well, that's nice.
I mean, I don't know if it was nice. I asked them to do something that would impress me, and the person that had was number 13 on experience in our whole Discord of like 90,000 people plus. He offered to wipe away all of his experience, and he did it, and I was very impressed with the self-sacrifice. So I just emptied my inventory to him.
Wow. Neindorf?
Then we also gave him his experience back, but he was cool with it. Like, he expected to be back.
He was ready for the sacrifice, and that, and in turn, to me, was great.
What a martyr!
For me personally, like I feel so blessed to even be a part of all of this that I don't know. I just feel like the people we talk to deserve it more than I do, so I just give what I get.
Much appreciated. Well, maybe Bolon, are you sitting on any eggs?
Of course he is, because he's
Viking Raider.
So I have found 1 egg from questing this entire time.
What?
Yeah, I found a blue egg on maybe day 3 that eggs were available, and I have not found another one since. That being said, I did buy a gold egg because I could not resist. And at one point, I did also buy, I think, a gray egg, if I remember correctly. But that is the extent of my egg ownership, and I have found a single egg, which makes me very, very sad.
Well, Neindorf, you're gonna make us all blush with your war chest of eggs. Tell us, how many do you have?
So I think I'm up to 15. I bought the 1 gold, but the rest are all just, I feel like it's kind of that RNG pendulum swinging one way or the other. You'd take a turn summoning and you'd be like, wow, that is a Steve the Pirate garbage hero. And then I'd send him on a quest or somebody else, and then boom, out comes a gray egg. I'm like, okay, all right, the world is right.
Yeah, I just completed as what we're calling the Infinity Stone Trifecta. So I now have all the eggs in my possession. I have 2 blues, a gold, 2 greens, a gray, and a yellow. So not quite sitting on as many as you, but I'm really excited for the pets and can't wait to get my vampire bat.
Well, now I feel worse about my 1 egg.
Well, and I, it's funny too, because I had over the course of questing, I have far and away the most fishers all the time. And I believe I only have out of my only two blues, but somehow I've managed to accumulate 8 green eggs, and I don't typically run that many gardeners, so it's extremely odd, you know.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And now I'm like, maybe I should be swapping some of those for grays or blues so I can open them up faster. I'm just so impatient about these pets.
Yeah, so let's go through the launch timing. It sounds like they're going to release blue and gray first, green and yellow next, and then gold last. And that's to help support the art team and the design team as they're presumably finishing up what is if it looks as good as Crystal Vale, I'm going to be thoroughly impressed. So
Worth the wait, no doubt.
Yeah, sounds
I
like
was very happy to hear that that's how they were doing it, because it just like, hey, instead of us focusing on finishing every single pet and every single egg and waiting for them all to be ready to push it out, it's just, hey, let's knock out these two first so we can push them out quicker.
I also think it makes sense because those were the first 2 eggs that were available.
True.
So,
Yeah, good point.
theoretically, people have been sitting on their blue and grays for potentially longer than green and yellow. So I think all around it makes sense. And yeah, I mean, even aside from the quality of the assets, which, we try not to release anything that isn't at a certain quality level, it's just a lot of assets. If you're going to have a variety of pets per egg, which we will, that's a lot of art assets to get created.
It also gives everyone a chance to be excited and really enjoy all the different pets that are going to come out, and not just have everything out all at once and then kind of loses some of its bang as well.
I think that's a good point. And I think when we'd seen some of those teasers of, pets having unique names and everything, I thought that was amazing because I was originally thinking it would just be like, oh, I have it's Bun Bun and it's number 8, right? It seems a lot like they're almost going to have their own personalities in a way, and just similar to how our heroes seem to, and some of the amazing names of heroes that have come out too.
Yeah. Frisky Fox puts a lot of effort into naming every single one of those heroes.
That's awesome. We appreciate it as part of the community. So absolutely, it is great.
That's my favorite random conspiracy theory that we've gotten going is
He
that
just sits there in front of his computer
24/7 making
all
up
day
every
long.
hero name as the crystals are coming
He's
through.
like, sorry guys, I can't make this meeting. I have too many subjects for asking.
RPC delays are really just naming lag time.
Right.
All right, so we talked a little bit about battle during the AMA today. I could not be more excited. So it sounds like first there's going to be dueling, and I'm doing a little bit of speculation here, but it sounds like there's going to be dueling style combat, which comes out before the full style combat. And dueling, is one of those items that Frisky was alluding to. As soon as it's ready, we're going to release it. And so I'm starting to try to get prepared with, bolstering, the single stats on as many of my heroes as I can. And that's going to show up before PvP. Neindorf, who's the hero in your stable right now? Mine's my Lucky Thief. Who's the hero in your stable that you're trying to prepare for the dueling style battle?
Yeah, it's got to be that the summoner I was talking about. I think I broke 30 or 31 for intelligence, so I think he's where I'm putting all my eggs right now, or stamina pots, I should say.
Yeah, no kidding. So you guys have Rissen and Bolon. Do you have any thoughts on the dueling tournaments that are coming up, and what are you excited about for the community there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for kind of the first iteration of some more in-depth gameplay, I guess would be the best way to put that. As you said, there's going to be a lot more coming, and we're going to have full-blown PvP and PvE and many other features. But I'm really excited for the first iteration of being able to kind of combat my heroes against other people's heroes, because that's what I enjoy. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, go ahead, Rissen.
I'm just excited for like this is going to be the first kind of taste of my vision and my what I hope to see with what we're doing long term is more than one way to play the game. You
Right.
know, we want to make it to where there's all different types of gameplay that are all surrounded around the same IP and different ways you can enjoy yourself, different moods that you kind of want to be in, different strategies that you can kind of go off of, both in the individual gameplay features and then just the variety of different things that we're going to have be capable. And that's something that we talked about in Spain a little bit during that talk of like inviting other people to build on our game. We want to try and add as much variety as possible. So I'm just excited for the first iteration of that to come through and then see what comes next and after that and after that. And
Yeah, I'm gonna keep pumping my. I love the idea of like I think Frisky has said the Ready Player One style metaverse, and I'm gonna keep pumping the idea of DFK style Oregon Trail. Like that's what I cannot wait for, and I am ready to invest all my jewel into that development idea.
It's been I at least have brought up the idea that I want the message like your hero got
Dysentery, yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Or like you lost your hero lost one of its children.
Yeah,
My pirate wants to shoot buffalo, of course.
Yeah.
I think it got brought up in the last time we were talking about travel. I was like, can we have this?
Go hunt some bun buns. The squirrels that were running around in Oregon Trail are just bun buns now.
You haven't been able to eat in 3 weeks, so you're eating the bun.
Next cutscene, it's roasting over a spit.
Yeah, it's speaking of the dysentery, it's the perilous journey to the latrine that you have to make it back from. Yeah, I would love that to just see like other add-on games in between right now, and I get it. I appreciate the functionality that's rolled out as it comes available. The quests right now have kind of grown a tad tiring. So, or I should say, has me longing for the future of DFK, and I'm looking forward to that quite a bit.
And one thing too with that, if you look at our team size, right, we're not a small team. Right. However, a lot of times I think that gets looked at in a different way of like, we want to see this. You have all of these people. Why can't we see that faster? But it doesn't really work like that because there's only so many people that can work on the same thing at a time, right? Not every person can be involved in the same task. Otherwise, they're just sitting there doing nothing. But what it does allow us to do is exactly that. It allows us to be working on 3 or 4 features at a time so that we're making progress on all of those simultaneously. And as they become ready, we're releasing them. So it doesn't shorten each specific task, but it lets us multitask, which I think is a really beneficial byproduct of that.
Especially now that the game's on 2 chains, I think that's even more important that you're able to develop those and kind of duality. One thing that I've been wondering about the dueling that I kind of want you guys to speculate on is that something that you're able to do outside of just the basic LAN tournaments? Because I could imagine, I'm really looking forward to the days of guilds where you could spend hours with your what's currently your Discord team on the future is like a guild team in game, just doing duels inside your own group of folks that for bragging rights, or I'm thinking through like I want to create, like if you can't duel people inside your guild, you could create like special Discord names for people who are wearing, I'll call it the champion's belt of the week, something like that. So what do you guys think about being able to duel, not necessarily, like tied to the LAN tournaments themselves, and instead it being like more of a free flowing feature?
Oh, that's what's coming.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So DFK Duel, which is currently under construction, will actually be more of like a dueling mini game, not tied to the LAN tournament. So the LAN tournaments will actually be kind of their own entity of like, here's a LAN tournament, you go and enter that LAN tournament. DFK Duel will actually be a functionality, kind of like a I don't want to say mini game because that's wrong, but along those lines of it will actually be its own feature that is available.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's definitely coming. One other thing that kind of got mentioned in the AMA, but I don't think many people really like
caught on
to it, are the training quests.
Okay, so, well, go on. Well, let's keep you guys on a roll. Cause some chaos here.
Let's just throw off the whole conversation.
Hey, so I don't have all of the details, and I'm not going to pretend to. However,
quote unquote, don't have the details / not going to give all the details.
I don't have all of the details. There are details that I have that I'm also not going to give, but I also don't have all of the details. But so the training quests are again kind of like a mini game almost of their own feature, where there will be different options for the training quests based on different specific stats. And so that will be another feature, and that is going to be out very shortly. Again, I'm not gonna put my foot in my mouth, but like very, very shortly, so that it's another option rather than the profession quest. So it, all of these things exist coherently together. So it's not, nothing's replacing the profession quests or anything like that, but it gives you a different option, which would then also give you different rewards. And so that's something that will be coming very shortly. And then DFK Duel is probably the next like mini game-esque type feature that would be coming. That one's still, I would say, a little bit farther out. We're still building that.
Yeah.
The training quests, I think, are nearing completion.
Yeah. And an important factor to kind of, and we keep alluding to the scope of what we're trying to do, like a couple months down the road when we're looking back on this, it's going to seem like one of many things. So when it comes out, keep in mind, like, it's just one of many ideas and one of many things that we're working on that we're going to constantly be pushing out. So by the time that we push out more and more features, more and more versions of combat, mini games, things like that, it's just going to show a more robust game that will allow you to catch your attention and keep you entertained, throughout the day whenever you're playing, so it doesn't feel like the same thing over and over again.
That's awesome.
But I think it's a big thing that, the conversation happened a lot when profession quests came up as well. Or came out, I should say, of people that, they were like, oh, is this it? And it's like, well, for now, it's all under development. And I know Hubert mentioned as well with level 10 profession quests. So that'll be the next step in profession quests. Like all of this we're essentially, this isn't, I'm going to say Cyberpunk just because it's one of the last like new games that I bought. But it's not Cyberpunk where I waited 12 months while they told me about the development before I could ever
years.
Right, before I could ever buy and play any of it. We're playing while it's in development. Which is really cool.
Yeah, so it's like you're in the starting quest zone right now of this huge RPG that you're diving into, and we just gave you early access.
Right.
You can't look around and be like, is this the whole game? No, that's close.
Okay, so now, Deindorf and I have to just go ahead and recklessly speculate on this because
Oh, no doubt.
I didn't quite. I was at work today. Oops. Listening into the AMA. So you guys go ahead and like grunt twice for a yes, or cough for a no. But Neindorf, what I hear here is like some kind of quest that allows you to work on your stat points as the unique item, especially since it's called Training Quest. Like, that's super exciting to me for another opportunity to bolster your hero for preparing for that duels. I feel like that would be very thematic, and obviously you can't like earn one stat point per stamina. That would be wildly overpowered. So maybe you like quest away at the armor center or the intelligence center for a couple days, and you start to build up something that allows you to buy a skill point or buy an actual stat point for your hero. What do you think about that, Neindorf?
I think I like that. My mind honestly went in a slightly different direction.
Yeah, go for it. Let's. Well, I haven't heard any grunts or coughs, so I might have swung.
Good job.
I might have missed here.
My mind goes to, we've been earning these skill points every time we level up these heroes. We've got no idea. I think it would be fantastic if these training quests, if you will, would get you a chance to use, say it's these skills and test them out and just earn experience. Like, imagine you got a wizard, right? And you're like, oh, what's this fireball skill? Should I level it up? Well, let's go to the training. Let's burn some stamina and some magic points, shooting some fireballs at some like scarecrows or something, and watching them just go boom. Like, I don't know. I think that would be pretty awesome.
Blasting buns.
Ooh, there you go. I don't know. The animal rights people might get up all over that, but
yeah. All right. Well, you guys have been eerily quiet, so we won't poke you anymore.
No comment.
What I'm saying is just like be excited. That's all.
All right, we're excited. And that's what we love to do, is just recklessly speculate here. Something else that we've been wondering about is and it's kind of diving more into the roadmap section of the podcast here, but what is travel going to look like? And so we know it's been released that there's going to be different zones of the map that are level gated, which I think is a really neat way to encourage participation in the game, that it's not just a pay to earn, it's a play to earn style game. And I really appreciate that that's a consistent message that keeps coming from the dev team. And so how is travel going to work? And I know, Neindorf, you've had some really creative ideas on that in the past. Maybe throw out your travel ideas to Bolon and Rissen here, and see if we can get some more coughs and grunts coming our way.
All right, sure. So honestly, looking at the game as we see it currently, the only thing that I would say in my mind is the closest thing that's to travel, if you will, is listing your hero for sale in the tavern. In which case, if I'm not mistaken, some of the we've had Mr. Zipper on before, and basically the way that works is your hero kind of goes into a smart contract, more or less, an escrow. So in my opinion, that's quote unquote travel, if you will. So my opinion or my thoughts on how this would work is that maybe there's a location smart contract, or it's a token or something, but your hero maybe even physically transfers on chain into that, digitally transfers, into that contract, such that, similarly, when your hero is listed for sale, you're not able to quest them in Serendale because they're not actually in your wallet anymore. So I think that kind of solves a lot of these problems that, how do I forbid them from doing this, but yet allow them to do that? So that's my wild speculation, is that there's a smart contract that your hero goes into when they're not in one of the main towns or cities, if you will. So that's where I'm at. I don't know. What do you think?
So the good news with travel is neither of us know anything.
Good. Let's get your speculation.
Yeah, there's full ignorance on the travel topic.
We know that there's going to be travel.
Yep.
And I really just hope and pray that they take my Oregon Trail idea.
Yes.
Did tell Nonlinear that every time you travel, you should have a chance of hero burn.
Yeah.
I don't think he was very receptive to it, but
We're big proponents of adding negativity into the game.
Chaos.
I just think that there's something more fun when there's a chance of danger. I want to,
you gotta have consequences.
I understand that these are people's investments and putting a lot of money into it, but I also just want to see bad things happen sometimes.
But yeah,
Well, that fits perfectly like with the zone for level. Hey, you want to take your level 5 hero to the level 20 zone? Good luck. You might not make it.
Or you could gain a ton of experience. That would be awesome.
Right. That'd be sweet.
I mean, the good news is I don't know anything. But I will say, like, my thought process, and again, I know nothing, nor would I know how to build this, even if they were like, yeah, that's a great idea, you should do that. I don't know how to do that. But I think it's likely to involve smart contracts because it is, on the blockchain, and that's really kind of the way to make sure that things work properly. But aside from that, I think it'll be a very interesting process of choosing where you want to go, based on what's available in that area and what it's going to take for you to get there.
Yeah, I think that if I was purely speculating, because I know probably even less than Bolon does, because I don't join some of those meetings. Right. It's going to be involved. It's not going to be a simple slapstick. Oh, you were here, now you're there. I think that there's too much effort and care being put into it for it to be that simple.
I'm really looking forward to like an added opportunity cost metric. That's like, it's not just the way you're spending your stamina, but if traveling takes time, like we saw with the Perilous Journey, where it's like your hero it's a week to go to this location and come back. I think that adds an entire another element of strategy to the game, where it's like, well, I could stay here doing the click happy level 1 profession quests, or I could go venture off into this area. It's a little more risky, and I think there was some information in Barcelona that was given out, like there would be like different baddies per different area. Like I could go fight some goblins, or I could go fight some some undead creatures over at the whatever they call that, the graveyard area, and then you could have access to a different jewel mine that's over there that has higher rates of return. I think that would be a really neat way to challenge the players, and give someone it would be a nice fresh perspective to the game. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think there's a lot of opportunity there, and especially if it's okay, I can travel over here and I have higher level quests and maybe some different enemies, whatever the case may be. But maybe I theoretically I would not have access to the things in Adeline,
right?
In the city, so I have to make sure that I plan for that. Maybe I don't have access to the vendor or to the trader or to the portal, or the meditation circle. So those are all things that you have to account for, very much like, an open world game. You have to go back to town to do things, and that takes time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can't give away all your inventory, Rissen.
My next suggestion in the next builders meeting is going to be like a Sonic the Hedgehog effect, where you get like knocked over or something, and you just randomly lose some of your jewel.
Your coins fall out. Yeah, I like that.
or your thief here has 0 strength, so can only carry like 1 sword back.
There you go. Yeah.
Hey, oh God, your inventory is full.
Yeah. Oh, don't. Yeah. You're taking me back to my days of Skyrim now, where I was like lugging across the map.
Yep. See, I was thinking older than that. I was thinking Morrowind because I never
Oh
played.
yeah, yeah. There you go.
Morrowind, yep. Oh, that's awesome. That was one of my favorite all-time games.
We're encumbered. Oh, good. This will only take me 3 years to walk back to town.
If I throw this sword down the mountain, will it get there faster?
Right.
All right,
Yeah.
so let's talk some more battle. I really want to go into, the future battle. I feel like we got a huge nugget. It was kind of confirmation that, there's a lot of speculation around, how you're going to have a skill tree and how that layers into the style of future PvP combat. And it sounded, we knew prior to this AMA that, like you would set your skills and then you would go into the battle. And then, there was a question that came up, I believe, before the AMA that was, is this going to be like Final Fantasy 12? And then a confirmation that it was. Is that right, Bolon?
In general.
I am so excited about that. I loved Final Fantasy 12's Gambit system. Right now I have a image on screen of just a mock Gambit for Balthier. And so my understanding is, you're going to be able to it's like programming light where you can start to set like situational skill usage, which I think would be really cool for pairing your heroes. And then something like I feel like I picked up on is that also that you would have all 3 heroes in your party battling at once. Is that something that's been confirmed yet, or is that still like, I guess I thought that, you might have your heroes battling one at a time and they would come out of your party and then the next one would come out and then the next one would come out. Is this, do you guys know at all, or is this something that's kind of locked behind closed doors?
Also locked behind closed doors, and those doors closed in our faces. So again, we're here to speculate because we don't know either. So I think what Hubert acknowledged in the AMA today is probably the firmest answer that's been put out there yet.
That's awesome.
And so that is that we are looking at a Gambit-like system for combat. That we do have a working prototype. We have not seen it, but it does exist.
We've seen some art.
We have seen some art. They've seen some art, actually.
Yeah.
And so with that Gambit system, like it's not going to be as necessarily straightforward and simple, which I say generously, as a traditional Gambit system, because it is still blockchain. There's
right.
There, but that it is the general direction, and then you'll kind of set up their AI and what actions they'll take, and then the combat will play out. I don't know if it would be all 3 at once or one at a time. I actually, again, and I feel like I'm really showing my age today. My first thought was Ogre Battle 64, which again, I'm really showing my age today, but Ogre Battle was an awesome game. And so it was very much like that one. You didn't really set their AI. They had a set AI because, again, this was Nintendo 64. So, limitations. But each character had like its own unique AI like per class. And then you built like your team composition and then would go into the battles, but it was battled as a group. Again, I don't know for sure that that's correct for us, but that was my first thought.
Rissen, what's influenced your kind of battle strategy games in the past?
Taking the fun out of the game by playing it wrong. Bolon would describe me as a troll when we play video games.
You are a troll.
But I like figuring out ways that things are not supposed to work, but they work nonetheless. It's like it works part of the time, all the time.
Nice.
You guys watch speed runs? Some of those crazy speed runs?
Yeah, ways that I can skip past things are great. Go against the common strategy. Play characters in the wrong role.
What's the game that that I'm thinking of? Divine something?
Oh yeah. So we ended up playing.
What's the game called?
Divinity.
Divinity. Have y'all ever played Divinity?
No, I haven't. Tell me about
I've
it.
heard of it, definitely.
So Divinity is an interesting game that I can't tell you that much about because we didn't get that far. But the basis of Divinity is that like you actually play as a cooperative party with whoever you're playing with, and you can have like multiple save files. So the four of us could have a game, and then the two of you could have a game, and etc. But everything is cooperative.
And it's very story based.
And it's very story based, and part of what is cooperative is the like storyline chat panels. So if one of you talks to an NPC, it opens it for the entire party. So Rissen and myself and a couple of our other friends decided that we were going to try Divinity. And the first thing that happened was he opened the dialogue to the very first person who's supposed to like teach you how to play the game, skipped through the entire chat as fast as humanly possible, and then attacked them.
Listen, game allowed you to fight the tutorial giver, so I blame the developers, not me.
That's awesome.
That was
wonderful.
about as far into that game as we got.
No, we played for we almost died.
Yeah, we went a little farther after that, and then you did it again, and then all of the rest of us were just like, no, we give up. We quit.
I try to find joy in games in ways that other people do not.
He tries to find joy in games by robbing other people of the joy.
Of their joy. Yeah, stealing that joy.
Yeah.
Nidorf, what about you for strategy games? Anything that's sticking out to you that you really like?
You know, I don't know. That's a hard one because I haven't done a lot of playing lately. So, you know, it's been, like you said, the kids keep me busy. But, you know, going back, I think you guys really nailed it with like Morrowind. I think that is like got to be my all-time favorite game. And, you know, all I got to say to you guys is I really hope questing is not like swinging a sword 4 million times and not hitting the guy standing right in front of you in Morrowind.
Yeah.
That was most of my Morrowind experience.
Yeah.
All right, so next we're gonna switch to our combat corner section of the night, or anything else on the AMA that you guys want to talk about, Bolon or Risen?
Let's see. I feel like the combat portion was a pretty big thing, although short, but you know, definitely more confirmation than I think we've given in the past. Let's see. We talked about the training quests. I mean, one thing I would just throw out there, just because I know it's been a topic of conversation a lot, are the leaderboards. And, you know, Nonlinear touched on it, as did Fox's self. But there's a lot of work that has gone into the leaderboards, and there's a lot of work that is still going into the leaderboards. So, you know, it's a really, like, it's a really cool concept and a really big achievement to have gotten them out. It's something that directly rewards gameplay. It's something that has been, you know, designed to try to be balanced between larger wallets, smaller wallets, more heroes, less heroes, etc. But that being said, like, I don't want people to think, oh, it's out and we're done. You know, we haven't really treated any feature like that, but we aren't treating leaderboards like that either. So there's still the same amount of work going into them and going into making sure that they're balanced and making modifications and adjustments as necessary. So I know the leaderboards are something that have been talked a lot about. And so I just wanted to throw that out there and just, you know, make sure that people know we're still working on them. We're still, you know, we're looking at the feedback, we're looking at the results. And it's not just well, this is what's out, so that's how it's staying.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think they're pretty exciting. I haven't used it, or actually, we found out about the leaderboards were live on our last stream that we did when a YouTuber was writing. We were trying to speculate on leaderboards, and someone from YouTube was like, "You idiots, they're out right now."
That was pretty fun.
So they snuck up on us a bit. But yeah, I think it's a pretty cool way to take some of what's happening in game and to gamify it a little bit. I'm always a big proponent of that. I also like how Frisky didn't shy away from stam pots are part of the game. So, if you want to stand pot and, run your fishing quests a dozen times to try to catch more silverfin, like, all for it. So, to me, then it's like another payoff, because we both, Neindorf and I, we call it recreational stand pot users. Well, not with the current prices, but I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's another big thing, and we've touched on it before, especially like with when we did the snapshot for hero levelers, it came up, and it came up a little bit again today. But one thing that I think is really important is, if somebody wants to win that leaderboard bad enough and they buy 100 stamina potions, they're not buying those from DFK. They're buying them from you. They're buying them from the people making and selling them. So yes, maybe that makes it harder for somebody who doesn't want to buy 100 stamina potions to win a leaderboard. But if that same person goes and makes stamina potions and sells them, they're the ones making all of that money. So right. There's always a trade-off of, like, even when a particular aspect of the game seems like, oh, maybe it's pay to win, which I would argue most of our game does not, lean that way. But even if it seems like, oh, I feel like this aspect is pay to win, they're not paying us, they're paying you. So, there's a very different mentality there and different impact. They're not buying a DLC from DFK.
Right. It's very community based and, decentralized, which the game's supposed to be.
I mean, that's what you can't listen to a conversation with Fox without hearing him say, this is not our game. This is the community's game. We're designing this for the community as part owners of this game. Their investment is our investment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. And it's very rewarding to be a part of a group like that. So, thank you guys, and thank on behalf of the community, thank the rest of your team for us.
No, don't worry about it. We'll take all the credit.
We did all of it.
We're the ones that are here, so we showed up. We get the credit.
That is true. When I was in at DFK Day in Denver, Tango did say he'd come on, and I haven't seen him quite yet.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So you remind him for me.
Help us cash in on that promise.
Uh-oh. I'll call him out.
Nice. All right, so Neindorf, you want to talk about Combat Corner a little bit and some development that you've done on the site, and I'm sharing on Discord for Bolon and Rissen here, and Neindorf, you as well. So I have not checked this out yet. I'm looking at, so if you go to Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms, our website, and go to the Combat Corner, you can load in your MetaMask address, which I've done. I've clicked Load Heroes, and now I can select the different heroes that I have to develop a party of 3. Is that right? Walk me through this, Neindorf.
Yeah, so basically before this page was just static boxes, and you had to go look up your hero number. And so this is basically just a simple addition here to make it easier to pop in your address, or if you have an account, it'll auto populate. And then you can select from your heroes, and it's basically stat based squads of 3 is really what this is, because we don't have a whole lot yet to work on. This page I plan to build out significantly in the future, but yeah. So I don't know if do you have an idea of a squad of 3 that you've kind of been grooming as your crew, and pick them up and hit view and see what this has got to show you. I think it'll be interesting.
All right, so I got to go with my mythic thief. As aforementioned, I do have a summoner who made it back from the perilous journey, so he's his wisdom and intelligence are pretty beefy. And then I have a Mythic Dark Knight as well. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in. All right, so now we're looking at the squad skills and the stack skills. So what am I looking at here with the radar?
Yeah, so the one on the left is each individual hero. Okay. And it's basically they call these a radar chart of their skills. And so you can kind of see how they compare and contrast. And you can click the hero numbers at the top there, and they'll go away if you want to look at a specific one. And then the guy on the right is basically just one hero's stats are added to the next hero's stats, who are added to the next, and then whatever your max stat is drawn kind of in a circle around, so you kind of see where you're deficient or where
Oh,
you're
okay.
absolutely beefed out, and your luck is just off the chart with this squad here.
Yeah.
But
I've been training
you
that.
don't have, yeah, your dexterity on the other hand, not as high, perhaps.
Yeah. So maybe, instead of bringing my Dark Knight, I'll bring in. I got a legendary archer. Click view here.
Okay.
All right, so my luck and dexterity are off the chart, but I'm looking a little lopsided on this side. So,
So yeah, now you can start to see, or that's kind of the premise of version 1 of this tool. Play with your heroes, select different ones, see if you can't. I think my goal, I have a pair of 3 that you can basically get 6 out of 8 that are largely equivalent. The 2 primary stats or the growth stats, I would say, of each class. So you can kind of get 6 out of 8 fairly matched. It's very, very difficult to get all 8. I guess maybe if you have all monks, maybe you get a pretty decent mix. But yeah, so that's the update there. It's kind of cool to play around with it. Anybody listeners, you guys send us feedback on what you don't like, what else you want to see. And like I said, we'll keep building this out as we learn more from these guys.
all right, awesome. Thank you for that.
Y'all should pull up the summoning site.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, you got a link? Where are we headed?
Isn't that y'all's summoning site? The DFK Adventures one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the hero matching?
Yeah.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, absolutely.
I was gonna say I'm not throwing somebody in.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
this is that's pretty funny. You guys used it before, have you?
So I've seen it a couple times, just like thrown in Discord and all. And then we actually stopped by another podcast, and they were using it. And we discussed the fact that when I summon, I just chaos summon and pick heroes and throw them together and see what happens because it's more fun. It is very inefficient, and I don't recommend it. You should not do it. Summon educatedly. But as somebody with no emotional attachments to my heroes who's just looking for more workers, it's fine.
There you go.
More people to go jump into the gardens or the mines or the hatchery.
I'm
Nice.
just throwing them all straight into questing anyway. It's fine.
Good.
But yeah, no, they were using it. And like I said, I'd seen it a couple times, but I hadn't messed with it a whole lot myself just because I chaos summon. But I mean, it is incredibly in depth.
Yeah. Kudos to Neindorf on the development of that. And it's funny, you were just saying the other day to me, Neindorf, I think when we were bowling, because that's so boring, we could only really talk about GFK, that you're getting the itch for some more summoning here soon, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And it's also funny, the way we decided to create this page is pretty hilarious, actually. You guys launched the Valentine's Day contest, and we're like, you know what? We could make a matching site. And that's really where this came from. And we ended up winning one of the few spots for the matching, the Valentine's Day contest.
So what I'm hearing is we are the inspiration for y'all.
That is exactly right.
Completely accurate.
That was an idea that we had in, like, I would say December.
Yeah.
That we were just like, you know what?
We need Tinder for heroes.
Yes.
Yes.
That was our
But no,
goal.
those sorts of contests are what make this community awesome, though. You know what I mean? It gets people invested, gets people creating things, and gets the creative juices flowing. Like, I don't know. I think it's absolutely great. Keep those kind of things up because we as the community absolutely look forward to them all.
It's honestly one of the best parts of our job.
I'm really proud of this week's, though.
I
really feel like
this
we
week's was
liked the game this week.
the peak of
Of course, yeah.
And we didn't even come up with it.
No.
But yeah, it's changing the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, input on the development. That is really neat. All right, so Neindorf, for Hero of the Day, you got a hero picked out. How do you want me to do this? Do you want me to go jump in the tavern and take a look and slowly start narrowing things down?
You can just post the number. We're running kind of long here with all of the awesome commentary we've had.
All right. So what's your number on this guy?
So yeah, I found 52454.
All right.
So and how I got to this was basically I was looking for a rare plus because I want to get some of those bonuses every fifth level, and then the next criteria I had was level 7 plus, and that's kind of the criteria I had. And this guy popped out to me because it's monk. I still kind of feel like there's going to be something cool in the skill tree for pure is in the sense of class and subclass match. And then also, I noticed that as a monk, having a fairly high cumulative stat count here is actually pretty rare. Because monks kind of have that level up where you can get very few stat bonuses or you can get a lot. And so this hero has leveled up fairly well considering it's monk, in my opinion. And it's also funny, I noted here that it was 175 jewel when I took this note. And the seller has, conveniently dropped the price for us and our listeners to 160 jewels. So take a look, everybody.
Yeah, awesome. Good find there. So what I wanted to do instead of picking out a hero, I wanted to show black market trading and actually show an egg of the day instead of hero of the day. And so I'm going to jump over, switch some tabs here. Not at all licensed by the DFK group or even by the Adventures in DFK community, but there are a few different websites out there where you can trade for eggs, and I think there might even be some liquidity if you go to the marketplace in game. I don't know, you'll be kind of victim to whatever the price volatility is. But something that I've been looking at in preparation for the pets launching is actually trying to catch up to Neindorf. A little bit of fear of missing out here. So, Rissen and Bolon, you're not out yet. If you want to go on the black market, you can go grab some eggs. And so, I'm looking at it's nocturnealley.market/DFK. And so, interesting website out there. You connect your MetaMask wallet. I have not, in full disclosure, I have not done this yet. This is not financial advice. And I don't know when I start clicking buttons if they will steal all my money. And so, I probably shouldn't be advising this on stream. But, you could go out there and get an egg for 40 jewel, which seems like a reasonable rate. I think, it's been down to, I've seen maybe 25, 30 jewel at times in some Discord channels. If you want to go like completely, trust style and, find someone on Discord. But I think for a trustless site, 40 jewel for a blue or a gray egg, if you don't have one yet, consider checking it out.
I hate how much I like the name of their website because I'm a massive Harry Potter nerd. And I you said the name of the site and I was like, oh, that hurts because it's so good. I actually my wedding involved Harry Potter. I am a massive Harry Potter nerd.
You have to forgive him. He's not going to be able to hold back from giving the disclaimers that
I'm not. But yeah, definitely they exist. Not going to say anything about any of them. However, always be careful because ultimately, as you said, if you click a button and it steals everything in your wallet, it's gone.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and then you do not DM one of us.
Yeah, do not. Bolon, you told me you liked Harry Potter.
Those DMs go right to Raph.
If you do choose to go down that route, please exercise caution because once if it's gone, it's gone. But aside from that, I do love the name of their website, and that makes me sad. It's a really good name.
Create a burner wallet just to buy
that makes
at least something.
Yeah.
Right? At least be smart about it.
Send the 40 jewel over to a burner wallet, and then
be smart about it at least.
Yeah. I neither one of us actually has done any black market trading. We've monitored, and that was part of the AMAs today too, but I don't want to get into it too much. It's been litigated throughout all of Discord, but the selling of the lock jewel and something that we like to keep an eye on the price, but it does always make me feel a bit weird, being on some of these and nervous as well. So yes,
well, that's
infinite
really
caution.
The basis of our stance kind of comes from is looking out for the best interest of the people. It really, there's just nothing, we have no control to be able to add any protections, or we can't put our name behind something that could possibly leave somebody else exposed. So we've all dealt with people who have gone down those paths and lost everything. So it is kind of like a all or nothing for us, to where we just kind of have to blanket say this is just not a good idea, just don't. People are free to do whatever they want, but it's not worth the risk in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, and a blue egg on Marketplace right now, 36.4 joules. So you can actually even get a better price if you go in-game to the Marketplace right now. I had not checked in a while, so I might actually poke around at some of the other egg colors and see if there's a better deal than that.
You've been in the community. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh.
34 for a green egg? Man, Neindorf, you must be unloading those.
Yeah, you buy a few first. Pump that price for me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and that's, we have plans for that as well, to have some stuff in game, which has been mentioned prior, where, you would be able to sell things like eggs and other items. So, we want to have all of that in game. I mean, aside from, I guess, Lock Jewel. But, for the most part, like, we want all of our tokens to be tradable in game. That's kind of the whole point. And part of the difference in timing, we'll say, in terms of having more of like an in-game functionality for the eggs, is because of the decks. So I think, at least myself, and I'll only speak for myself, but I figured there would be a bigger market on the decks for eggs. But there seems to be a pretty big, I don't want to say opposition, but I'm surprised that there are the number of, back alley ways to buy eggs when it's available on decks. So, obviously that is what it is, and that's why we're going to have other in-game options to accommodate that.
Yeah. Honestly, seeing this, I had not checked in a while. Seeing this at 34.8 joule, I mean, I feel silly for even bringing up Nocturne Alley now. I've been skulking around in the wrong places. That flu powder took me, to the wrong exit. So, that's it. And this is reckless speculation, not financial advice, but 35 joule for an egg. I don't know. I think you could hit big on something, and I hope that they're worth more than 35 joule. I'm not selling any of mine right now. In fact, I might go buy some.
Will be that price when pets start popping out of them.
Yeah.
To be honest, I just can't imagine that being like, oh yeah, definitely will stay at 30 something joule.
Yeah, right. So that's my hero of the day, which is really egg of the day. So, that kind of wraps it up for our regular programming. Bolon first, then Rissen. Any closing comments you guys have tonight?
Bullish.
Nice.
Well said.
No, other than that, I appreciate y'all having us on. It's been a lot of fun. I've actually listened to several episodes of y'all's podcast before, so it's cool to be here and be on it, and beat Professor Tango to the punch.
Ooh, there it is.
Awesome.
Yeah, got to throw a little bit. But I appreciate the fact that y'all put this on, in general, not just this one with us, but the fact that, people are out here making this content about DFK.
It's just fun.
It's just wild. It's awesome. But really appreciate y'all having us on and getting to hang out.
Yeah, thanks. We'll have to, team up sometime and play some Untitled Goose Game. And yeah, all joking aside, it's a labor of love. You know, we really enjoy this. So yeah, thanks for being here, guys. We really appreciate it. All right,
No
Neindorf, any closing comments for you?
No, again, I just gotta, reiterate, we appreciate having you guys on. And again, like we said earlier, with the whole the charitable donations thing, keep that up. I think that's awesome. We've been, you know, the benefit of some of this awesome development as early investors. And so I think, providing these opportunities for us to, do something good with these earnings, and it's phenomenal. So keep it up, you guys, and hopefully we'll chat again with you in the near future.
All right. Well, thanks. Thank you very much to the Chaos team for helping us fight the supervillains tonight. And we're signing off on YouTube. Have a good night, folks.
Bye.
Bye.